Happy Sunday, everybody. It's Angela. Welcome back, and it's so good to share some time with you today. We are going to be making our quick little Sunday project. Like to keep it short and sweet on Sunday, so I hope you're keen to follow along. Go grab a cup of something hot like tea or something cool if it's hot down there, and just come and sit and join me for a while. Take some time for yourself. Right, we are working on our baking journal, but of course, guys, this can go into any theme journal, so don't feel limited by that. I'm going to be doing a quick little project today in the second signature. So just going to get to where we were before. Right, I've actually made one up here for you already so that you can see what it looks like, and then I will show you how easy this is to put together. So I am just a few pages from the back. This is one of those baking pages, and I thought I'd show you a little project to put onto the back of one of these. These pages come from my ephemera kit for Baking Bliss, so you'll find those there, and on the back of that I printed tea stained paper. So of course you don't need to do that. I've stenciled on the back of mine now as well with some of my Distress Oxide. I've used Bundle Sage at the top here, and just my makeup brush, which you've seen me use before, and a stencil. And on the other side, the pinkier side, I've put my Victorian Velvet, which is a lovely vintage pink color, which I love. All right, so that's what I've done there. And then I've got a little one-page fold-out piece of ephemera here, and believe me, guys, this is so simple to do. I haven't printed it double-sided, you'll be glad to know, because I'm thinking of people who don't have double-sided capabilities or don't have a printer and use single sheets. So we're going to be doing that. So let's have a look at what I've done. So hopefully you can see this. Right, so on the front here, we've got a little pocket. I've got a little tag that I've taken from my ephemera kit. All this stuff comes from my Baking Bliss collection. These are die cutouts from Sizex. It's called Spring Foliage. I've used it throughout this project. This is just one of the little green sprays. This is one of those little labels from one of my background pages, which I shared with you. I cut out. Butterfly, my pastel butterflies, and just some of the flowers from this foliage kit. So I just love how that comes out. You can easily print a little quick recipe on the back there, or fit in some other folded recipes that you might have in that little pocket there. When this folds out, we've got a little fold out here, and I've got two little bits of ephemera. I back them all onto that lacy paper so I can write on it. It's just a little bit of difference. I've made a little triangular pocket here. I'll show you how I make these details. I've got one of the little tags from the add-on kit in there, and again you can write a lovely recipe on the back there. And then we've got a little pocket over here. This pocket flips out, so we've got a little pocket here. I've got one of these cards which I took from a scrap from one of the journal pages, and again place to write on the back there. So that goes into this little pocket. Just some lacy detail. We flip that open. I've got just some decorative scraps there, and one of the circles from the add-on kit. And then I've got a little belly band here, which I've dressed up with some more scrappy bits, and just put another piece of ephemera into this bit here. I thought that if you had any folded up pieces of paper, you could put them into this section as well. So it's a great place to store those recipes, make notes about a recipe, or add any recipe bits that you've had. So that all folds together and folds down like that. Now you could put something on the page here to keep this down. I was playing around with various ideas, but I thought, no, I'm not going to worry. You know, the book pages are going to keep it flat. You could add magnets if you're great with that. You could add one of the little circles with a brad. You could add a circle with Velcro and put that on. And I might do that later. I'll see how we go. All right, so that's what I'm going to show you how to do today, and this is really quick and easy, and look how effective it looks and brightens up that whole page, and I love the layers going on here. All right, so I'm going to put that to the side. That's what we're doing. And now we're going to get started. So what do you need? Right, I was measuring this out on a piece of tea stained paper, but what you need is a sheet of paper. So I've got this pink gingham sheet that I'm using. This is an A4, but we're going to trim this to fit both an A4 and a US size. So you'll be happy to know about that. All right, so I want everyone to be able to do this. I'm going to give you the measurements in inches and centimeters, and I promise you it's a lot easier than it seems. Right, so your page needs to be, let's just go through some measurements here. We need 8.25 because that's the width of an A4. All right, I know with the US size it's 8.5, so you're going to have to take off about 1/4 of an inch off the width. All right, then on the length side, we are trimming down to fit both sizes. So we're looking at 10 6/8 of an inch, or 10 3/4 this way of an inch. All right, that equates to 27.1 centimeters. Okay, so that's what your base size is. So you want 10 3/4 in length. So I'm going to take that off right there. Okay, so if you're an A4, you're trimming off that much. And then the other way with a A4, it is 8.25. And if you've got a US piece of paper, you want to take off, so it's 8 1/4. All right, so that's what you want there. So that's the first thing, easily done. And now what you're going to need is a scoreboard. If you don't have a scoreboard, I'm going to give you the measurements anyway, and you'll be able to do this with a ruler and a bone folder or the back of a butter knife. So that's absolutely fine. Right, I've got my bone folder here. I hope that you guys can see. Yeah. All right, so let me turn it over. The first one that you want to score is at the 4-inch mark. That is 10.3 centimeters. All right, so that's the first one. Make a nice score line and don't press too hard. Right, so the second one you want to do is at the 1/8 and 1/8 of an inch mark. That's an additional 4.18 of an inch further on from that one. Okay, and then you are left with the remainder here, which should be 2.5 inches. So if I just take this to a full inch, yes, we've got 2.5 inches. So those are the bits that you need to do there. Okay, so not very difficult at all. Then I want you to turn it to the other side. So we've got it to the length, and all we're doing here is really folding this in half. You can just do that by taking the two edges like I am, finding where that halfway mark is. Yeah, not easy when you're not looking at it directly. And then you're going to just line it up here with one of these, and we're going to just gently put in that halfway mark. All right, so that's what we're doing with that piece of paper. So let me put that away. All right, so we've got our piece of paper. Let's do one thing before we fold this all up. Now, you might need a pair of scissors or your craft knife and a ruler, so go and grab that. I'm going to use my craft knife, and what I want to do is with a pencil, I want to draw, this is your 2.5 inch, the narrowest side panel. Draw a little spot there just so that you can see. You don't need to draw it, but just so that you can see. This is the halfway fold line we've just put in. We're going to cut up to that line from the left to the right. So just going to move this lengthways. And you can do this with your scissors, but I want to do it. Now I'm cutting mine to the left of that fold mark. There's sort of like a hair's breadth in between each side of that, but I'm going to cut out a little section. So we've got that, and then I'm going to go the other side of that indented fold line, which really is a hair's breadth. So I'm just getting it here, and I'm going to take my knife and just gently run that down. Now you can see when I've lifted up, it is really narrow. It is like so narrow. All right, so really is a hair's breadth, and that's just so that I don't have overlapping on either side. Okay, and pieces sticking out. So now you've got your 4-inch, your 4.1, and your 2.5 inch section, or if you're looking in centimeters, 10.3, 10.5, and 6.3. All right, your width here is 21 centimeters or 8.8¼ inches. Right, now we can fold this. So we've got this bit here. You're going to fold that in. You're going to fold these in half like this. You're going to fold that flap in. All right, that one will go to the book. Then you're going to, while that's in there, you've got these bits, these two like that. You're going to fold those together and you're going to fold your flap down. All right, so there we have it. So that's going to make our little whole ephemera piece. Now what you want to do is we want to just distress the corners here and there. So I'm going to do that quickly, ever so quickly. Right, so on this side, this piece here, I'm going to distress a bit and a little bit over there. It's going to be covered on that side, so I'm not worried there. I'm just using a makeup sponge, if you're wondering. You've seen me use it before. I find it lasts longer than my Tim Holtz one. Right, so we've got all of that distressed up pretty much, and I'm not doing it very dark at all. I'm keeping it pretty light because this is such a lot of light colors, so I don't want to really make it too dark. Okay, so there or thereabouts. Okay, done. Okay, so there we have it. That's going to be like that, that's going to be like that, that's going to be like that, and there we have it. Now, when you've got it in this position here, what I want to do is I want to glue these two bits together here. All right, so it's the bit just behind this flap, and on the back of that flap I'm going to stick these two together. Now, you could make this a pocket, but because I've got a pocket at the back, this would overlay it. So I am just going to glue this down completely. I did think about that at the time, and then I thought, no, then that's gonna be, I mean, you know, there are different ways to do this, and you could have one pocket, one tag at the top and one at the bottom, you know, so I'm sure there are other ways, but this is the way I'm doing this today. So you want to just get that lined up nicely. And squash that all back down again. Oh, okay, so let's just make sure that's all nice and lined up. Okay, right, and then on this bit here, I want to put a bit of glue on that flap there and a little bit of glue on this edge here. All right, so we've got that, and we're going to glue that down. There we go. Okay, so we've got our little pocket in there now. We've got those two stuck together. So now we've got our little booklet happening here. Okay, now I've got a little piece sticking out there, and that will bug me. So I'm going to just trim that off so I don't have to see that. And you know that these things do happen despite being accurate. Right, so it just doesn't matter. We're just going to go over that again with our distress ink. All right, so it's coming together, and I'm liking that. You can see where this is all going now, and it's going to look great. Oh, one other thing we need to just put some glue on is the bottom of this little pocket. So just put a nice thin little layer over there. So everything glued now, except gluing it to the page. So I'm quite happy with that. All right, so there we have it. Right, so let's go and decorate this up. So the first thing on the front, what I wanted to do is I wanted to cover that white section. So I've just taken one of the scrappy bits here. I have made it the size of this paper here. So I'm going to just put that over the edge there, and with my pencil I'm going to just slide this down slightly, make sure I've got it lined up evenly, and then I want to just make, with my pencil, I'm going to just make a little mark over there, and then on this side I'm going to move it over this way, just so that I can see over here, and I'm going to make a little mark over there. All right, so that's it, where these two bits are. Okay, and then with you can draw with a pencil line with your ruler. I'm looking for the other mark. There it is, and there it is. So I think that's it. And I'm going to just draw a line with my pencil. And you can take your scissors or your craft knife, and because the craft knife's here, I'm going to use the craft knife. And I'm going to just cut that piece off. All right, we're going to use that piece, so don't get rid of it. Okay, this bit now will be able to go and fit on over there perfectly. All right, so there we go. I'm going to stick that down. Can't see the glue now, so let me just tilt that a bit so I've got some light on it rather than casting a shadow. Gosh, I can't wait for the warmer weather so I get better lighting in my room. Okay, right, let's stick that down. We want to be quite precise there. And there we have it, the perfect fit. Right, just take your distress ink then and go along this edge if you're showing any white from the underside of your paper. Okie dokes. Right, now we're ready to I have distressed that already. So I'm going to just take my glue and put a bit of it over there. Not really worried about making completely flat, but I just want it to be held down. Right, so there we go. Now this little bit over here, we're going to just distress the cut edge. If you want to make this stronger, you can back it onto another piece of paper if you like. This is 160 GSM or 60 pound weight that I'm using. So I'm going to take this and stick this over here. That's going to be our pocket. So hold it on the side. You're not going to want glue on. That's my best way to remember that. And then just going to get some glue. Make sure I've got enough on that side like that. And I'm going to just put that just over there. So there we go. So we've got our little bit put in over there. Right, it's coming together. I like how that's coming together. Right, so let's start with the back and then we'll get to the front. Okay, so I've got my little bit over here, and then what I did was I've taken one of my little scrappy strips. I've made a little tag. So this is really tiny. I mean, if I'm giving you, it's 1/2 inch strips of paper I've cut off, long strips. Just made a little tag. This one is 1.5 inches in length, and I've just put on my little spring foliage flowers and a little pearl to them. So again, using up my scraps and making little scrappy bits, and I'm going to stick that on the end of the pocket there, just like that. I'm going to stick that just over there, so it's just really to pretty that up a little bit. And then I'm going to just take one of my little butterflies like this, pastel butterfly, and I do use them a lot. I just love the colors. So we've got that, and we're going to just put that over there, and that's enough for that little pocket, I think. All right, so that's that one done. It's amazing what little extras can do to it. Right, for this one over here, again, I've been in the scrap pile. I've taken a strip of paper that's going to fit the width here. So like that, I think that's about 4 inches. Yep. And it is 1 3/4 inches. So you're looking at 4 centimeters by 10 centimeters. And I'm going to stick that down over here, just as a belly band. So we're going to just put some across there and some across here. All right, so we'll get that centrally placed. And you can use your little lines in the design to help you get that nice and straight as well. All right, so we've got our little belly band there, and then I'm going to take another scrap that I've collected, and this is I think this is a 1.5 inch circle that I've cut out again from scraps, and I'm going to put that over there. So let's get that stuck down. Lots to be done with scraps, guys. You know, look at every piece of paper you have and think of ways that you can come up with alternative ways to use them. That's what I do. And as I said to you from that scrap video that I put out a week or so ago, when they're in front of you, you can come up with all the inspiration because they're right there and you're looking at them. Well, that's how I feel about it. When the stuff is in front of me, it challenges me to think, what can I do with these bits? So rather than having them in a scrap pile, get them onto into little containers. I'm sure you can get them overseas at the dollar store or anything. Mine come from Amazon. They were really reasonable. I've got loads. I think 9 came in an A4 box. So I had an A4 box and all these containers, and I've got lids and bases for them, but I've split them up because I'm using them all the time. So I'm just putting this like this here. I'm just layering up, and again, these bits come from the background page that I cut out all the bits from. So, you know, don't feel that you can't make use of every little thing. Right, little sentiments, because I love them. This one says, "For goodness bakes." Bit of a quirky one. We're just going to stick that down over here. So there we go. That's our little belly band done. How quick was that? All right, so we're coming along here now. Just on this side, I wanted something else. And so again, went into the scraps, took a piece of that recipe sheet, one that looks like this, and I've got lots of scraps of it and making use of it. I just wanted to put a little bit of decor here, so I thought, right, let's have the lighter one, and I'm going to stick that down here. So get that down. And this is so therapeutic. You could make these little happy mails. They could go into a journal. And you know, you're using up all your scraps and you're really going to brighten somebody's day. So I think that that would be a great way to use them and make use of them. Right, this is just one of the little circle labels that I had in my add-on kit. I cut it really tight on this one, just because I wanted it to be smaller. So I've cut it at 1.5 inches, so it's not the whole circle. But that was all I needed. Just trying to get it centralized here. So it's just to pretty up that underside there a bit. So we've got that side done. And then on this side, I thought, okay, we'll go with some lace now. So I've got some of my lace, and I've cut this out. This is from Plum Boutique. You know I love to use their stuff. And then I'm going to put that over there like that. Right, so I think I want it here. So I'm just, you don't want too much glue on this. Use your lines to guide you. That's the joy of gingham. You've always got a guide. I think that's why they gave it to us when we were at school, you know, to practice our sewing when we were just young little things. Really young little things. Right, so I've got that, and it's guiding me, so that's great. And then I always make it slightly longer so I can give it a bit of a trim. And I've got my huge scissors here. I don't know why I grabbed these. I use these quite often, and they're sharp. Good pair of scissors. Right, so I've got that there. Those scrappy bits can go there, you never know. I might add them in a cluster or something. Okay, so we've got that bit down, and then I've just got one of these from another backing page scrap, and I'm just going to quickly distress that. Right, so I'm going to stick that over there. Nothing like a bit of black and white, you know, always looks great. And then while I'm waiting for that, I also, let me just get my glue stand out here. Got a bit of a croaky throat today. Right, just been cutting out one of those peonies from my 1-inch circle punch, again from scraps that I've had. And you can't go wrong with the circles. I think the circles always look great. So we'll stick that onto the back of this. Let's get that down. Right, and then we'll stick that onto the lace. Okay. Right, so that's going to go. We'll get it centralized. Yeah. So it's amazing what you can do with circles and shapes. Now if you've got a hexagon, squares, whatever you've got, go and cut out those bits and pieces. Right, so the only thing to do now is this bit here. And what I've done is I've taken one of these spring foliage little pieces. I've stuck on flowers here already. That's just because I wanted to make things a little bit faster. So I've got some pink, blue and cream from the lacy paper. That's the polka dot blue paper, and that's some pink cardstock and the polka dot pink paper, and I've just cut out those. It's all from the spring foliage Sizzix die. So I love that. Really dainty, and I'm going to put that just over here, and then with a little butterfly as well. All right, so that's going to go here, and then I had a little label that I wanted to add in as well. So that's sort of how it's going to look. So let's get that stuck down. Right, I hope you guys are catching up with all your crafting and enjoying the lovely collaboration hosted by Rachel and Bella Crafts. I have thoroughly enjoyed it and seen some fantastic stuff, but today's your day off to catch up with it. So, you know, I hope you are enjoying viewing all of that stuff. Don't forget that they've got prizes, and they're going to be draws, and what you need to do is make sure that you comment on everyone's videos for that collaboration. I did mine already, so mine was number 2, I think. So mine was the tag one, so you can find that there below if you haven't viewed it. So do that, comment on everybody's videos, and then you go into the draw to you know, win some fantastic prizes. So go and have a look at that. Make sure you subscribe to their channels as well. All right, there are some fantastic voucher prizes, all sorts of ephemera, lovely kits, and all sorts of things. So go and have a look, and Rachel will tell you what that is. All right, so we've got our little butterfly there, and I think that's looking fab. Right, so we're all ready to go. I think that's just about everything there. All we need to do now is to put in our bits and pieces. We're going to put in our ephemera now, so let's get started. The first one on this page here, which I'll grab my bits of ephemera that are lying right here, is this little boy. Now these pieces of ephemera all come from my Baking Bliss ephemera pack, so I've backed them all onto this paper, as I keep saying. I've put an eyelet in here. If you don't have a crocodile, you can just put make a little hole with a paper punch and cut a paper reinforcer and put that in as well. Or you can just, if you're backing your paper, your ephemera onto something, sandwich your ribbon in between the two. You can do that as well. There aren't just eyelets are not the only option. That's what I'm trying to say. Right, so that one's going to peek out over there. We're going to open that up like this, and I've just got this little card to go into our belly band over here, and you could put other bits in here, of course. As far as this little pocket's concerned, we've got this lovely chocolate vintage ad and a little piece of ephemera that's going to tuck in over there. And then we've got our little mixing card, which I've also put onto card and this paper, and I'm going to tuck that into that little bit over there, if I can get it. There you go. All right, so that's going to close up and close up again, and then we would put it onto our page. And to do that, you take the back panel, the one with this side, and you just run some glue on those 3 sides, leaving this bit unglued. Stick that onto your page, and then you'll have a pocket to put in your tag. All right, and that's our little project today. All right, everybody, thank you guys. Lovely to have you following along. I do want to mention that I do have a coupon code for running until February the 13th, 2022. Please go and have a look at it. What it is, it's THTH20. That's for to have and to hold. That's my latest kit. It entitles you to 20% off if you buy the journal sheet pages, the ephemera kit, and the add-on kit. All right. In fact, anything else you buy with that as well will also entitle you to 20% off as well. I do offer printed kits for all my kits in my Etsy shop. So if you're wanting to use it for any of those, it will work as well. All right. And you'll get 20% off. So please, if you haven't already and you were wanting something from there, now's your opportunity. I do post my printed kits to most places, so go and have a look. And yes, make full use of that. I will be starting my To Have and to Hold journal in the next 2 weeks, really, so it gives you a chance to gather all your goodies. There will be a ribbon pack coming out, so you'll be able to order that and have everything ready on time. Okay, so if you're not getting married, or you aren't married, or you don't have any family who are getting married, that doesn't limit you. You can make a beautiful special celebration journal for somebody having a special anniversary, or anything like that. And if you're not into marriage at all, there are pages in there. Half the journal pages are spring pages. The other half are wedding pages. All right, so it's a 30-page kit just for the pages. And you've got plenty of background pages as well. 10 of the 12 are also not wedding related specifically. Okay, so go and have a look. I look forward to seeing you all very soon. I'll have another video for you up on Tuesday. So have a wonderful Sunday. Go and eat, go make your roast dinner if you are, or have a barbecue if you live in the Southern Hemisphere and it's nice and hot. And I'll see you all very soon. Bye-bye.